I'm your host, BKP, and we are here at the shops at Sycamore Crossing in downtown Blue Ridge. Good morning. Make sure my mic's on. Little errors. You know, you got to understand, I always got to check my mic because you see, I have to rely on Lonnie to tell me if it's working or not. Right, Lonnie? Hey, Lonnie doesn't have a mic to respond. We have Tupelo Tea. We have New Blue Home and Gift. We have Broken Bowl. We have Rick, and we have Bruce. How's that for a lineup? Downtown Blue Ridge. Now listen, next week we are going to work on the flashing warning sign for the screen, because if you are politically correct and you can't take this, we're going to give you fair warning with a flashing. We're going to do that next week, Bill. Hey, yeah, warning.
Got it.
Okay.
Leave the room.
Yes. This is. How you doing, Rick? How you doing, Bruce?
Happy Friday.
Good to have you back.
Good to be here.
Let me tell you about an encounter I had yesterday. You know, when you have that opportunity to go one way or another. So I'm over at University of North Georgia, over at Dahlonega. I had a meeting with a young lady over there, and I allowed the location to be the Starbucks coffee shop in the school. So I'm walking in, I'm looking around like, okay, really? You know, really, you know? So anyhow, I'm meeting with this, and I looking for the restroom here, and it's in the school, University of North Georgia lounge there inside the school. So I go down the hall, and I'm waiting in line, and I got my sport coat on, and I got my bag and everything, and I'm standing there waiting for the restroom, and a gentleman comes up, and he's standing next to me, and looked at me, and he said, "Are you one of the professors here?"
You must be one of the new professors.
"Are you one of the professors here?" And I was like, wow, I should go with this. You know what I mean? And I thought, no, I better leave it alone. But I was like, I went home, I told Lisa, I said, oh, I should have run with that. I should have just run with that.
Yeah, there's probably a tabloid waiting around to put that on the cover.
Guys, what's on your mind? I know we usually talk Donald Trump, but you know what? Recently, there's some conversation of, you'll hear one person say, is Trump really in this to win? Is Trump a pawn for somebody? I've heard, is Trump trying to start his own news network? It's not a secret that he is friendly with Roger Ailes, and Steve Bannon is the CEO of Breitbart, and he is, pretty friendly with some of the Fox higher up with your, I'm just throwing them out there, not anything I've heard, Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly and so forth. So there are different thoughts, schools of thought here on what he could be really doing. What do you think? Do you have those concerns? Or those things that you filter through as you're going through this campaign?
Before I go there, I wanted to let you know that if you see my head cock one way or the other, I'm picking up a dog whistle somewhere.
You got the dog? Did you hear the dog whistle?
The dog whistle.
The dog.
I'm picking up a dog whistle.
Bruce, easy. That's just, I'm with you on that, right? Hillary said he's got a dog whistle, and it's bringing all the radical out of the woodwork, right?
The playbook.
Yeah, the playbook. A radical right conspiracy theorist.
I'm sorry, I took a left.
No, that's okay. You took a left. Mark that down. What time was that, Lonnie? Put that on the tape.
That was alt left.
Okay. Now that you've heard the dog whistle, could you get back? Could you like the dog? Can you
Yeah,
get back to focus?
You want to focus? Yeah. Now, there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there about, what's the real reason that he's in it? Is he in it because he's a true American and he wants a better country and he's anti-establishment? I like all that. Is he in it because he's in it?
We're trying to build a foundation for something later.
Yeah, because he's trying to build the
Well, what do
foundation.
you think? I mean, what do you think, Bruce?
I go with the first two. I think he's doing it for country. I think he has a real abiding fear of where this country's going. 20 million in debt's going to jump up to 26, 28 million in a heartbeat. Yeah, I think just he really wants to do something to get this country back on track.
Okay. Well, we have some different schools of thoughts. I received an email the other night, and I'm reading this. And could could Hillary win by just a fraction, but it puts Trump in the right place with 50 million voters that are immediately 50 million viewers.
So the elites did their job.
Right. And then then he could profit off that. Is that the winning prize that he gets? Is he in with the elites? There's that thought. He wins and he doesn't turn out to be who we thought he would be because the elites will still run things. There's a lot out there. I have this crazy thought that somebody could still love the country that much. That's just. And
so then does that make him, do you think he's got a death wish?
Okay, I'm glad you went there because there is
There's a school of thought out
yes,
there.
Yes, there is, and it's not just. It's like I was talking to Dr. Whaley. It's not just one or two conspiracy theorists that say this. Just like Hillary's health, it's now being talked about by some legitimate people in the industry saying there's some health concerns. Same thing with Donald Trump. So you put this in the frame. He's got $9 billion. I'm going to knock it down to 7 because Mitt Romney says it's not as good as it looks. So he's only got 7, right?
Whatever.
But he's got $7 to $10 billion. He has a great financial empire. Kids don't have to work again. Nobody has to work again. Do what he wants. Fly around on that plane. That plane's costing him a fortune to do that. Is this an investment in Trump Enterprises, or why would he take the chance on possibly surface-to-air missile taking the thing out? I know I said that out loud, but you can find that on the internet.
Absolutely. I mean, is he just being cavalier about the whole thing? Or is he just thinking, well, this is the way politics is, we'll do a little mudslinging, and then everything will be okay? And it doesn't work that way. I mean, I just don't think the elite establishment lets any of that stuff stand in their way. You know,
well,
if they want you out of the picture.
But if I can go to the media
Go
side,
back.
I mean, you're in media. I mean, how much of a platform does this give you to get your views across that he would like go to something like Trump Network? I mean, I just don't know if getting there is worth it for him. I mean, the guy's 70 years old. I mean, he doesn't have that much time left.
Excuse me, I just thought of something. Mr. Trump, if you're watching and you start the Trump Network, I'd like the 9 o'clock hour. Just wanted to get that in. Anyhow, back to you, Bruce.
PKP on TNN.
Yeah, 9 o'clock. I want the 9 o'clock hour. I want that slot.
But I mean, it's hard. Your business.
Let me ask. Let me say this. Donald Trump. Could it be the love of the country? Could it be he loves his kids that much? Could it be he loves his grandchildren that much? Could it be that he has seen the decay of this country and globalism and what it's really is? Could it be that he would take all of those risks?
The guy is very, very bright. I hope everybody gives him that much credit. You know, he is bright. I think he sees it as a win-win. If he wins the presidency, great. Let me see what I can do. If he doesn't, if he comes out 1 point short, 2 points short, he's got a whole bunch of stuff to fall back on, like possibly a media empire or any, tied in somehow. But I think he looks at it as a win-win.
Well,
regardless of what happens.
And you think the mainstream media kind of pushes that, and they say, he's going to win no matter what. So I mean, even if he only loses by 2 points, he gets all this like reflected glory.
And then what about the country? Let's forget Donald Trump win-win. What about the country? If the guy loses, I mean, I for one publicly have said and will continue to say I'm not a globalist. I'm not against trade. Okay, I'm not against trade. I understand. I actually have read where in the South, trade actually with putting tariffs on things. I mean, there's a lot deeper. The Civil War is a little bit deeper than just slavery, if you'll read. So going all the way back through our history in commerce and international commerce and things like that, there's a balance that we need to achieve. But I'm not a globalist, but I'm not opposed to trade.
We had that conversation when you first started doing the Fridays out here. I had just come back from vacation. I was over in Europe.
Right.
And we talked about the similarities, and this was early on. We talked about the similarities with this election and Brexit. And I'm telling you, I still think it's dead on. That's why he's got Nigel over there down in Mississippi.
Nigel in Mississippi. I'm sitting there
Yeah,
thinking. I'm sitting there thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. Have you ever seen the movie City Slickers? You know,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
And Billy, right? And I'm thinking, holy smokes, this guy's going to like Mississippi, and he's got Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump straight out of New York.
Yeah.
And the only thing they're missing is, did somebody stop by a store and get us cowboy hats?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm thinking, but I won my opinion. Now, you know, I've told you this before, but I don't care to say things twice. Okay? Right? You know that? I don't care to say things twice. It's just a
You
reminder.
just did. Oh, never mind.
Okay, anyhow, you could get away with that. Anyhow, if Donald Trump loses, I don't think he will, but if he loses, very simple, I'm wrong. I do not think he will lose. So the next day, I will be wrong. But if he wins, I was right from day one. You've heard that before,
Oh, yeah.
right? Day one.
I've never.
In fact, I've got T-shirts.
You got that from day one? You got them ready? It's like the Super Bowl. They got some third world country talking about wearing, sorry, my friends out there, but you got some third world country wearing Buffalo Bill championship Super Bowl. I just got in so big trouble. They printed both of them, right? You got both T-shirts ready to go.
Yeah,
I was wrong. I was right from day
They
one.
were in the clearance bin. Which one's going to be in the clearance bin?
Woo, boy, we're getting in trouble here. I think it could be the love of the country. Now, I'm going to tell you on a different scale. When you say I don't want to go into any local issues this morning. I want to stay focused on the national. But on a different scale, you talk about a death wish, the guy having a death wish, okay? Because unseating globalists, unseating the establishment, there's something you got to pay attention to. And when I say it like that is Hillary Clinton gave a speech yesterday and said the code words, it's not the Republican Party she recognizes. There used to be a Republican Party they could compromise and talk to, right? You heard all that, right? Mm-hmm. What she's saying is we've always owned both major parties and we're losing control of one. It's almost, you follow where I'm going with that?
With the elites, I've always seen, okay, we've got the country divided. We got the blue states, we got the red states. It only takes a couple of states. Blues are going to be blue, reds are going to be red. Takes a couple of states to go one way or the other. That's who wins the election. I think that's passé now. I think I think that the elites are realizing that we got to go in a different direction, and we've got to grab these people out there that have been the silent majority for a long time. We got to make sure that we control that. That's why I think Trump's so popular.
Yeah, you have so many of the young people, millennials. They're unaligned. They basically, they don't really want to go either way, and so that's become a big change.
Well, myself, when we talk about the death wish, I mean that Trump is, could they take him out? My brother has called me and said, Brian, I'm telling you, they will not let him be president. Now that's I mean, you've heard Jerry, you've heard him on the show many a time. He says they will not allow the guy to be president. That's what he says. It will not be allowed. And I don't want to say I agree with that, but maybe it's just the love of the country. People ask me, and I'm going to say on a local level, people ask me all the time, why are you doing this? Why you take this on or that on? I think there's a such thing if people are tired of certain things.
That's exactly right.
And I think there's a such thing as somebody loves the country. I'm going to take a break, but I've got a bigger question when we come back. Lonnie, let's take a brief break. What do you think out there? 706-889-9700. You can send me a text message. Donald Trump just trying to build his own media empire. Donald Trump maybe just for the love of the country. Can Donald Trump be elected and can things be turned around? I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back after these brief messages.
The summer sell down is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings up to 16% off MSRP. Save over $4,100 off Malibu Limited, now just $19,500. Save $9,500 on loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT, now only $38,700. Save up to 16% off MSRP on select new Chevys in stock during the summer sell down. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
While the best athletes gather to compete, the rest of us gather to eat. Pizza Hut's Big Flavor Dipper is here. Almost 2 feet of pizza with 4 flavorful dipping sauces. Big enough to feed the whole team for a small price, just $12.99. The Big Flavor Dipper Pizza, only at Pizza Hut.
The 50-50 sale is back at Schottenkirk Ford. 50 trucks must go in the next 50 hours. Shop over 250 trucks in stock and starting as low as $79.95. And there's several more on the lot just like it. Yes, 50 trucks must go, and not just Fords. We have all the best makes and models. You have 50 hours to cash in on huge savings. Don't miss our 50-50 sales event at Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
El Rey in Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Ellijay.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Introducing Pizza Hut's first $5 flavor menu. Just $5 each when you order 2 or more. Say yes to a medium 1-topping pizza, yes to Wing Street Wings, yes to new stuffed garlic knots, and much more. It's easy to say yes to our first ever $5 flavor menu, only at Pizza Hut.
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge. I'm having to multitask here. We are at the Shops of Sycamore Crossing. I've got Jody Nicholson next door here at Remax Town and Country. We have Tupelo Tea. Can't wait for them to open at 10 a.m. Broken Bull. I hope my friend Rick is okay. Just had surgery. Great family-owned business, husband and wife here. That's where my jacket comes from. New Blue Home and Gift. And I tell you what I really enjoy about being up here, Rick and Bruce in Blue Ridge on Friday mornings is I call it that I'm in America. I mean, I listen to the delivery trucks, the train whistle will go off in a minute. I see the restaurants getting ready. And these shops, every shop here is family owned. They're family owned. I see husbands and wives coming and working together the long hours in small business. I just really enjoy that.
Great setup down here. Great setup.
Great place to live.
While we were on break, I was taking orders for T-shirts. I'm getting.
You getting T-shirt orders?
I'm getting emails. I'm getting.
Okay. Double checking. Now, what we need is a poll. There is. I will accept. I will wear the T-shirt. BKP. I was wrong, but I don't think I'll have to wear that. But I'd rather wear the T-shirt. I'm BKP, and I was right from day one. I just saying.
I'm telling you.
Just saying.
Right
all right?
from day one.
All right, there's my brother calling. Can't take your call right now, Jerry. Jerry's going to tell me something going on up there in the Northeast.
You might want to talk about that death threat.
Yeah, exactly. But let me say this. Let me ask you this. Okay, Trump does it for the love of the country. I'm going to fall down on that because I tell you what, we don't have another choice. We could talk about, is he building a media empire? When Trump has this, he comes up with great lines. Everybody's saying he doesn't have policy. He doesn't have policy. What? It's worth the chance. I mean, where are you going to go wrong? What choice do you have?
I mean, I like the line that he's using in the black community. Give me a shot. What do you got to lose?
What do you have to lose?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. What do you got to lose?
So, if we sit around and we break down, I think it's good discussion on whether Trump is seriously in it to be president and do the things. I will tell you this, if the opportunity came about that I could ask Donald Trump a question, okay, I would ask Donald Trump, how have you stayed connected? What did you do? Because he could have a team of people come in and say, Mr. Trump, here's the talking points this morning. Construction workers, this, and this. He can't study it fast enough. He could not deliver it spontaneously with the passion he does and not knowing it. So my question would be, Mr. Trump, how do you stay and how have you stayed connected as a billionaire to Main Street?
He's lived it.
He's done it.
He's in the trenches with his people. He gets down and dirty. He made his boys do the same thing.
I believe that.
They've held the screw, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they've held the screw gun just like everybody else that's putting up sheetrock.
He has stayed connected. I have not a theory, but I have a thought, and my brothers brought this to my attention. When you're around the New York City area and you're around Wall Street and you're around some of the major developers and some of the major money that you see, and I'm going to throw it out here. My father's been in New Jersey since 1962. We have done additions. Don Kirshner's rock concert. Remember Don?
Yeah.
We did an addition on his house. People that know Liz Taylor area, Malcolm Forbes in New Jersey, they come out of the city. We've worked for them. My father since 1962. The point is, you see, Donald Trump might be worth $8 million, but he's been shut out of the big boy class.
Yep.
You see, he's not welcome in the $25 billion, the $30 billion, the 100. They don't like him. So he is the low class billionaire to them.
He's a blue collar billionaire.
Right, exactly.
Is that why you think they don't like him?
Because
he's blue collar?
Exactly. I think they don't like him because he's blue collar. I think he does business the old fashioned way. Now we can go into, and we don't have time for that, did he pay all of his bills? Did he pay all the contractors? That we could get in the weeds on that.
No.
Here's my question to you guys. Let's say Donald Trump does get elected, and they even keep the Republican House and the Republican Senate. This is pretty loaded. Is it too late?
Whew.
Is it too late? I mean, I think he has great intentions. I think his intentions are to try to save the country. Mm-hmm. But America, as you know it and as I know it and grew up, is it too late? I think there'll always be in America, but is it too late? $20 trillion in debt is a smokescreen for the public. There's trillions in the hundreds that are not accounted. Yeah, that are not accounted for. Yeah. Trillions. There's trillions that have been used by Hank Paulson that we were not aware of. I mean, there was trillions that Jimmy Carter bailed out Mexico, just on and on. So the 20 trillion, although as large as it is a smokescreen in our financial situation. I think what we have to do to turn the country around, we're not prepared to do.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, it'd have to be pretty drastic. Is your point?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, cut into that debt and the continuing deficits, you're going to have to cut expenses. A lot of those government departments are going to have to be reduced.
Balance the budget.
And they're all unions, and they're not going to stand for that. It's going to be brutal.
Gentlemen, I understand we can have the debate on student loans, and I sit over there yesterday, and I was at right over here at Dahlonega at North Georgia College, great, beautiful campus, and I was sitting up there, and there was just a sea of tables and young people with their computers out and studying, and I was happy to see it. But I was sitting there, and obviously I think a different direction. The debt, the student debt, is over like what, 1.4 trillion or something like that?
It's another trillion.
Right.
Somewhat.
But it is an explosion that's getting ready to happen.
It's going to be forgiven. If Clinton wins, she's going to forgive it.
All right. Well, what if Trump wins? What do we do? Do you know, I read an article, a business... Go ahead, Bruce.
No, hopefully he'll reverse the Obama administration getting in to the whole federal student funding game
and taking
in
that
2010.
over.
They pushed all the private lenders out. It's all government now.
Right.
And hopefully he would, withdraw from that or disengage from that.
He's got to take away all the... Not all. He's got to just look at the broad spectrum of social programs. And the only way we're going to come close to any of this is to start backing that stuff down. I mean, the food stamps that have what, doubled?
Right.
It's just, I mean, we're running out of makers, guys.
And a huge area of fraud is Social Security disability. People get on disability Social Security before they even qualify to take any of the benefits. It's just gutting that program.
Well, the economic growth, I read an article the other day on Business Daily or one of the websites that was discussing the millennials, and generally in your 30s, okay, home ownership down.
Yep.
In your 30s, some of the balances of, hey, I'm making money now and I pay taxes, and wow, what they told me is true. They do take my money away. That starts happening, when you start making money coming out of college. But what the article said the other day is retailers, if you look at the reporting on like Kohl's, Macy's, these stores, retailers are down. They're down. Their earnings are down. Home ownership is down because there's not any what am I looking for? Income. The millennials are having to use that to pay college debt. And it is strapped them. And I'm not saying we just, you go borrow the money and just say, well, a magic wand, the Bernie Sanders. But I think it is something that's getting ready to hit that we can't get away from. 1.2 trillion. They can't pay it. A lot of them can't pay it.
And they know it, and a lot of them are reneging on it because they know they're not going to ever get called to pay it.
They're waiting for the day where it's going to be wiped out. Everybody is sitting on the edge of their chair, hoping that their college loan, the tuition that's coming due, that is due, is going to go away. That's why I believe that a lot of them jumped on the Bernie bandwagon.
And that's why
free college, wipe out student loans. Free, free, free.
And that's why they're going to sign up from day one. I was right.
You're going to sign up for day one. Don't forget, Bruce, you start that with BKP.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
That's what the T-shirt from BKP from day one was. Now, I just knew from the time, I think, and you've heard me say, I think, feel strong that it will be a landslide. I think Nigel has experienced it. Let's go back to Brexit. You were there. We talked about that the week you got back. The vote was coming. I think it was a week away when you got back. We were talking about Brexit and what you've seen. But globalism, on a whole, the American people do not want to be the global citizens that they're asking us to be. I don't know if that's been sold to people. Maybe the next generation, maybe over in the college students are enjoying being or wanting to be global citizens, but I don't know if that's been sold yet.
I'm convinced that the Hillary supporters really don't know what globalism is, what New World Order means, what the whole, what that whole thing can evolve to. Like I said, it never got reported over here. Everything I was seeing over there on the Brexit, we weren't seeing any of that on the mainstream media. It was just Cameron and Obama getting together and saying, man, we're going to have total collapse.
Well, that's what Nigel
just
said in
doesn't
Mississippi.
happen.
Nigel came.
Where's the collapse?
Nigel said
Classic
that.
fear mongering. I mean, it's classic.
Okay, we're going to have to get to our pet of the week. So let's wrap it up with whatever you want. I'll throw it out there. The polling that you see, and what do you think is taking place? But whatever direction you want to go, we got about 5 minutes.
Here's a question I want to throw out. Let's challenge everybody. Please, everybody, if you've got some time on your hands today, look up the definition of racist. Look up the definition of bigot. It'll do you some good because you're going to hear it a lot. Speaking of dog whistles, the pet of the week just came in, but you're going to hear that dog whistle now for the next 10 days.
Racist and bigot.
Racism and bigot. Please understand the difference, because there is a major difference.
Bruce, what you got?
I would like to go back to globalism. I think that's sort of become a hot button word for the Bernie Sanders progressives, but people really don't understand that. I mean, you think of all the things in your daily life that aren't made in this country. Tupelo tea. There's hardly any tea grown in this country. Coffee, very little coffee grown in this country. So things people take for granted, are part of the global system. And coffee and tea are just the tip of the iceberg. There's lots of things in our daily life that, are basically a result of the global business system.
You're sitting on the edge of something. I can tell you.
No. I mean, I'm there. I agree with them. It's very frustrating sometimes when you see people that just don't take the time to understand.
Are you concerned with the polls?
Well, I don't think the polls are accurate by any means.
Okay.
I mean, we've talked about the guy that was on Rush the other day that went from upstate New York all the way to Myrtle Beach on 2-lane roads. He said if the mainstream media hadn't have told him that Hillary was out front, he would think that Trump was out in front 90-10. He said you get off the main roads, you get into in rural America where it's all happening.
Right.
And it is covered up.
Polls are fudged by the mainstream media. They're definitely
well,
fudged.
a lot of people don't. When I say don't understand, and when I mean that not to belittle anybody's intelligence of understanding a poll, but polls are samples, and you order a poll. Our company can't afford to order polls from these big polling companies, but when you see the ABC Monkey Survey or the ABC this survey and that, they have ordered that poll and they gave them the parameters, the questions, what the sample is. So the sampling right now, and I'm hearing polls, although they were somewhat correct in several of the primaries, but I'm hearing now with cell phones and so forth, the polling is getting harder and harder to do. And I will say this, internet polling is not as far off as people think. There's a margin that you could play within. And I'll tell you why, because you could set up an internet poll, and we have done this. And we did a commissioner's race, okay? 2 years ago, we did a commissioner's race, a local one here in North Georgia. And we could set it to where your computer cannot vote twice. It knows the IP address. So if you vote, if you go to vote the second time, it'll say, thank you, your vote's already been counted. Now, can you go to 3 other computers in the house and vote again? Yes, you can. Yeah. But still yet, that's a margin of error that happens. And I'll tell you what, and I think Lonnie could tell you, is our voting on our polling paralleled the turnout. And it was with a margin, within a good margin, the turnout. Go ahead, Bruce.
Can you expand that to the national level, though, in your opinion?
I don't know. I don't know, because then on internet polling, you don't have control if it's a likely voter, somebody that's going to vote, somebody that, skewed the voting like American Idol over at the colleges or whatever. Yeah, but what I'm saying is I for one think, I think the first debate, the first
debate's going to be telling.
And I think that's, I think that's the end all is first debate.
I agree.
If Donald Trump has the performance that I think he could have, stays focused, which I think he is doing, stays on message, and handles the first debate like I think it will go, he will come out the next day on top and never look back.
And you know they're having trouble finding moderators that are not considered,
Well, doesn't Fox have the first one?
Right.
Yeah, they do.
My concern with that is Fox has the first debate, and my concern is Fox will try to go over the top to make themselves not look like they're favoring Donald Trump. That's the concern I have.
So Megyn Kelly won't be there.
We don't have time for Megyn Kelly discussion, okay? I will
Let's
not.
put it this way, Candy Crowley won't either.
Yeah. Well, no, I wish Candy
Fox,
was,
though.
because I wish Candy would have the nerve, like she did Mitt Romney, to look at Donald Trump and say, sit down. Like she did Mitt Romney. Basically, she said, Mr. Romney, please sit down. You know better than that. And he said, okay, and he sat down, okay? He took his seat. That wouldn't work with Donald Trump. So in a way, I would almost welcome somebody to tell Donald Trump that. Prediction, I love it. Debate one, if Donald Trump, the mainstream media is not going to say he won, but the American people say he won and the polls turn and he walks away in debate one, he will not look back and he will win. If
Debate 2 and 3.
No, debate one.
Okay.
If debate one will be the top one watched.
His point is he still
Remember
has
Mitt.
to perform.
Remember Mitt,
Mitt
he
had a
backed
great
off.
performance.
He
On the
backed
first
off
one.
on 2 and 3.
And then all of a sudden he backed off and he got
Listen,
hammered.
Rick. I really don't want to end our segment with having to do this to you.
You're right.
Trump is not Mitt Romney. Please don't let that happen again, okay? Don't let it happen again. That's not Mitt Romney. Be still. How dare you? Let's get back. I love the guy.
That was good.
Okay. If Trump loses first debate, I think it's over. I think he has to win first. Just think he has. Second and third, he could win. If he wins first when he's on a roll, he'll win the second. He will go in with, that touchdown already, home field advantage because he's up. He'll go in with the touchdown. If he blows out the first one and wins it, huge, it's over.
So now it's BKP from debate 1. I was right.
There's a bunch of T-shirts. We have a whole list. You can order from an assortment. Guys, thanks for coming up on Friday. We enjoy this Friday mornings and beautiful. Isn't the weather great?
Fabulous.
Is this not
Hey,
comfortable?
we got some West Coast listeners this morning.
At
Say
West
hello
Coast?
to Judy.
Judy, good morning. Glad to hear from the West Coast.
West Coast, yep, Northern California.
Okay,
That's
when
our
we
good-
go,
we love her.
Huh?
We love Judy. That's our
Okay,
good
Judy
friend.
on the West Coast, glad to have you. And also want to say hello to Savannah and all of that are watching, the young college Republicans over at North Georgia College. We hope you're all watching. Want to say good morning to Savannah over there. And I'm your host, BKP. It's time. We're going to take a break for our pet of the week. Rena has another beauty coming in here. Oh, how many new dogs should I have by now? What, 4, Lonnie? It's a struggle. Pet of the week when we return, and we're at the shops at Sycamore Crossing, beautiful downtown Blue Ridge. We'll be back after these messages. Lonnie, take us a break.